Hey guys, we're live. Sunday night. Time to wrap up the week. Do we have hold on. I believe we're live. Yeah, no, we're live. Cool. Look at already Rusty Butt Austin says, any bets on how late we start? It was 2 minutes. We started 2 minutes late. Fashionably. So
Yeah, 2
I'm
minutes
here
isn't
today.
bad.
As always, the illustrious Pat Doofy's with us.
There.
Got Ed, Sasha. Sasha did a lot of work on the last days of freedom arrest scam. She really pulled that together and figured out the depth of their deception pretty quickly. And we have Matt the Man with us too.
Hello,
Hey,
hello.
Matt. And Desert Sentinel, who is not dead.
Yeah, hello everybody.
Alive and well, guys. What's good, everybody? How y'all doing?
I faked my own death. Yes.
Yo,
Only a couple times. So, what should we even start with? There's like a lot of shit going on. Should we start with Furry Potato?
Yeah, that sounds
let's
good.
let's get that idiot out of the way. Yeah.
This made me so mad. So mad. I don't know about the rest of you.
I'm just gonna keep my mic muted because I don't even know what's going on, but I've heard it deals with animals, and I think everybody knows that I like animals more than I like humans. So
You're gonna get mad. You're gonna
get mad at this.
Everybody keeps
You're gonna
telling
get mad.
I didn't even go watch just so that I could get a short version of it.
Yeah. So now Furry's already set this video to private because she clearly doesn't know how we operate. When your video goes up, like, we're going to get a copy. Get the hell out of here. But this time she has gone to auditing fucking animal hospitals. Like, why? I don't know. I have no idea. But, you know, so she goes out to this animal hospital and check out what she does. It's terrible. I'm gonna mute my mic so I don't yell over the video because it makes me mad.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing.
I'm back, everyone.
And this is what kind of person you are? I can't believe this. Why are you filming us? Please tell us why you're filming us. It's hard. I mean, it's hard enough that we have to put the dog down. And you're doing this to us. This is ridiculous.
Somebody needs to put you down, lady.
Pardon?
Somebody needs to put her down. Your days of peanut butter licking is done, dog. You're good. Man, this lady's angry. 10 to 1, the coppers aren't coming, everyone. 10 to 1, the coppers got educated. 10 to 1. Sorry, everyone. I can't read the chat right now. I had to keep the backlight low because I got my live stream at 10 o'clock. My very important live stream at 10 o'clock.
Filming license plates again, of course.
Yeah, that lady's mad. That one's mad.
No shit.
Wonder why she's all mad for. Hey, how long was the other? Trying to think how much longer we're gonna give. Oh, she's calling the cops. She's crying. She's crying to the cops. She's crying to the cops, everyone. Where? Filming. Where? I wonder what city I'm in. What city am I even in? I gotta figure that out.
Get the fuck out of here.
Handing out medications. They're handing out medication. Handing out medication to the dog. Did I just violate HIPAA laws?
Get the fuck out of here.
I think I just violated pet HIPAA laws. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's what I just did.
Like, this is so creepy. This is so fucking creepy.
What city am I in?
Someone needs to beat the fuck out of this fucking idiot, dude.
I think we've probably seen enough of this, right? Jesus
Oh my
Christ.
god.
Can someone please put them down instead?
Well, I just wish that the security guard at the Jewish school, I wish they would have put him down. I wish he would have put him down. I would have personally started a fucking GoFundMe to pay the whatever would have been awarded to that fucking dude Furry Potatoes Stevens fucking family. Second of all, Steven Zoe Perez, you must not know who the fuck I am, but I'm gonna go ahead and tell you I have very deep connections into the animal rights, animal activist, vegan community, and I promise you we're gonna come for you. I promise you.
Well, now, listen. It just bothered me so much to see this old lady, right? She's putting her dog down. Like, I can only imagine what, that's just the worst fucking day of your life, right? Is putting your dog down. It's like a child to a lot of people. To me, I mean, I would be a wreck. And, absolutely no empathy or compassion for this fellow human being. And then she goes a step further and says, well, somebody should put you down. And then the same, oh, no more peanut butter licking. Like, get the fuck out of here. So I just want to brag, though, and say that yesterday afternoon, morning, or whatever, this video comes out. They're talking about it in my server, and the guys are all, everybody's talking about it. The people in my server, my mass whole army here, immediately were able to figure out where the animal clinic was. They called up and proceeded to pool their money together and send flowers to that lady. So they called the animal clinic and explained what Zoe does and the privacy complaints and everything, but then took it a step further and actually got a beautiful flower arrangement and some little angel figurine pet condolence thing and sent it down to the clinic so that lady will have it. And that's like one of the nicest things that they didn't have to do at all, but they did. So, I mean, like, they took something. I can't even take credit for this. I just Venmoed over some money. That's all I did. I wasn't the one who went and got the address and phone number for the animal clinic or picked out flowers or something like that. But they literally, within an hour of this happening, had flowers sent for this lady. That's like such a nice thing to do. It really is.
Yep. Fuck that motherfucker.
Yeah, it's just awful. It's just awful. So I'm actually, hold on a minute. I'm going to give something back to Furry real quick. Excuse me while I find it.
You gonna neuter him like he wants to be?
You
What?
gonna give him the bird?
Oh, he wants to.
No.
Oh, we'll get him neutered like he wants to be.
Wait, Bruno.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. They put meat in my food.
Oh, no. You can't eat it.
Sasha.
Okay. Excuse me while I get this link up, and I'm going to show you guys something.
Kate, did you dye your hair?
No,
Looks dark.
it's maybe dark in here. I don't know. All right, so let me just share my screen real quick. I'm going to, can we mute Sasha?
Sasha's not here. They fucking went AFK. That wasn't even Sasha. You thought it was one
What
of the
do we
Sasha's
have
birds?
here, guys? What do we have here? Furry. Oh, is that Furry there?
I
Is
don't-
that
Is
is
that?
that
It's
Furry?
furry.
Potato? Did we figure out who Mrs. Potato is, Furry? I think we fucking did. I think we fucking did. So
Which one's furry?
Woof, woof.
Somebody
The
must have
pale line of
photoshopped
the
their
block.
face because somebody must have photoshopped their face or something.
what do you mean?
Which
'Cause
one's
Furry's
furry?
uglier in person.
You don't recognize the tattoo?
No, I recognize the tattoo. I didn't
Right,
recognize
the
the
tattoo's right there.
Their face looks a little clearer in the picture there because it looks like they took off the
There's
fucking
Furry
blemishes
to
and
the
shit.
left. Oh,
Ugh.
hold on. Where'd my screen put?
I like the
There's
gap
furry-
type.
Yeah, there's Furry to the left, and then there's Mrs. Potato, another trans woman. This is the famous Mrs. Potato. Now, Furry doesn't seem to really have a vested interest in protecting other people's personal information or privacy. We usually do, but you're kind of pushing here with the kind of shit that you're pulling, because we could go all in on Mrs. Potato if we really wanted to and talk about, her background, her ties to certain communities. There's a lot of information that we've pulled up. As of right now, I'm just going to drop this picture as a warning to Furry Potato that we have information on Mrs. Potato. Cut your fucking shit. If I ever see you at another fucking animal hospital pulling that kind of shit, trust me, we'll go ahead and we'll let some information go about your bitch.
Ooh,
Yeah.
wait.
Wow.
Yeah.
There you go, Kate.
Yep.
Burn that motherfucker.
Uh-huh.
Fixer.
Yeah.
Fixer. Feisty Kate is sexy as hey.
I gotta tell you something. I'm pretty sure that Mrs. Potato probably has to put a paper bag over this fuck's head so they can fucking have sex with her.
2 bags in
wouldn't.
case hers falls off.
And that's not really like, that's not something that we really freaking do most of the time. Like, you know what I mean? But this is getting ridiculous. I mean, there's just absolutely no respect for human dignity when it comes to Furry Potato and what she does. Yeah. Oh, that's a good question. That's a good thing too. Can we talk about her new shirt? Yep. So she is. She's selling a shirt with CCW's image on it. There are likeness laws, you dumb piece of shit, Furry Potato. You can't just go around using other people's images for commercial reasons. Now, the YouTube videos get a little iffy. We're not, the law is gray on that. But when you're making a T-shirt with somebody's image, you are very, very clearly using that for a commercial purpose. You can't do that. So as of right now, however many T-shirts Furry has sold, she owes CCW some money, and we're going to take care of that too. Trust me. All right. Well, we got a lot of people coming on panel here. We can't have this many. Yeah, we got too
I
many
can hop
people.
off if you need me. I can hop off.
What?
It's all good.
No, I don't care who does or doesn't. I'm just saying we got a full house, and it's going to get overwhelmed.
Sexy
Joshua.
pose.
Fixer, I won't mention Josh's tits either, okay?
It's all good. I've been quiet about it all day.
More on that. One person on the please, a little bit of information. Listen, I'm going to always fire off a warning shot before I, because I know I know enough about the way that information spreads on the internet that you give people a little bit, they can figure it out for themselves. I don't think that's bad, but Mrs. Potato doesn't necessarily have to get dragged into this, which is a lot more than most of these people would do for me, because God knows that they've tried to pull in everybody and anyone related to me into this nonsense. Usually not my style, but you know.
It shows a lot about you, because would it have been me steering this ship? Their mama would have got brought into it. Their grandmammy would have got brought into it. They would have got brought in. Everybody would have been dropped into it.
Yeah, no, I usually don't. I don't like to, but this is getting ridiculous. And make no mistake, Mrs. Potato is entirely supportive of this behavior and complicit. So she's not exactly blameless in all this too, but really, I mean, I'm just going to leave that up there again. Hi, Mrs. Potato. Hi, Furry. Absolutely ridiculous, the kind of shit that she's pulling. She audits private businesses. She audits veteran-owned businesses. She audits people's fucking houses. She audits animal shelters. Like, where's the line here? There has to be some sort of line. And it was one of the most disgusting things that I had seen all week, watching her mock this woman for having to put her dog down. Like, it's just disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the situation means nothing to them.
No boundaries, no filter, no boundaries, and no class.
Satan's Lady S says, seems to me like the woman speaking is just trying to cause problems. For Furry, yeah, I mean, I am. Let's not make any pretenses here. Like, yeah.
Real quick, I mean, hey, Satan's Lady. I mean, if you think that she's just trying to cause problems, look at what Furry's doing, going to freaking animal hospitals and fucking recording people who are literally, you know, they don't want to put their freaking pets down, but they have to, and they're over here trying to monetize off of it and get money off of it. That's fucked up. That's not right, dude.
And a lot of them had their dogs for 13, 15, depends how many years.
So I mean, are you supportive of that kind of behavior too, Satan's Lady? Because that's what it sounds like to me. I mean, I don't know.
And
Furry is the one trying to cause the problems.
Exactly.
Some of those elderly people, that's it. Those animals are their world. Their partners have moved on, passed on. Those animals are everything to them.
Yep.
I don't know, Kate. Maybe I missed something. When was the last time you went out and ran around like a creep and were recording people, got them triggered, and then once you got them into a situation that you were expecting, had them arrested? I don't remember the last time you did that.
No, I don't do these things. I never will. Yeah. No. Jojo, I'll give you a wrench, but we don't need to block Satan Lady. Like, she's all right there. She's okay there. Like, yeah, it's just terrible. Just terrible what she's done. And this is actually like that. This is like a recurrent theme, I think, of this show. Like, as we kind of look back on the past week, there's been a lot of just direct assaults on the basic principle of human dignity in the auditing community this week. They really, really haven't been respecting other people's rights to dignity. So on that note, what should we talk about next?
Abrams 911.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Might as well do that. Might as well.
Is this
so
season 4?
Be careful saying Abrams fixes here.
I know. And so
no, I'm good, bro.
You're here too. Anyway.
Resist temptation.
Okay.
You won't.
You can do it.
You won't. You're going to crumble.
Satan's Lady, do you want to come up on the panel and talk about this? Because I hear a lot railing on about your constitutional rights and very little about the responsibility that comes with it. Very little. So, I mean, you know, let's have a discussion about responsibilities and decency, maybe, or don't. I don't know.
Just because you have the right to do something doesn't mean it's the right thing to do.
Right.
Come up on panel, Satan's Lady.
And no matter
More
what,
than
you
welcome.
still have to deal with the consequences of whatever you choose to do, good or bad.
And you know what? The more that I watch, especially like this past week with some of the more egregious things that they've been filming, you know, we're going to talk about, you know, the animal shelter and then the rape victim in the ambulance or the battered women's shelter. The laws are going to kind of catch up at some point because these people are standing on public easements, but they're zooming into windows and shit. Like there is an absolute sort of peeping Tom component to a lot of this that is going to catch up to them eventually.
So is this person going to hop on the panel or not?
I doubt it.
They never do. And again, please understand, freedom of speech does not ever mean speech free from consequences. So we're not calling up the secret police and having them storm Furry's shack that she lives in and behind that disabled man's house. We're not having her arrested on the spot and thrown in jail. There is freedom of speech in this country that is unencumbered for the most part. But part of the consequences of that speech is that you're going to get criticism, and she deserves criticism. We can't let any more people on this panel.
I wasn't going to be on tonight, but I need someone to put my profile in full view because I have something to say to Furry.
Okay. I don't know
personally.
how to do that.
All right, Furry, Josh, SGV, Casey Manchild. I hope you're listening to me very carefully after the video I just saw. I wasn't going to be on tonight, but as soon as I saw that video, I was fuming with rage. I had to put down a few of my pets once, and it was not the best experience of my damn life. But let me tell you this right now. If I ever have to put someone down, or God forbid go to a funeral, and I see one of you guys outside filming, I will shove that camera so far up your ass, you're going to need all the donations you can for your fucking medical bill.
Damn.
My guy, you go.
And to quote a certain man, and that's the bottom line, because I fucking said so.
Hey, you could charge him for what does a colonoscopy costs?
I was just enraged, and not only because this week alone, because I've seen people like SGV and Casey Manchild getting away with so much shit, and especially with the police just twiddling their thumbs and supporting them, which pisses me off. You got Furry Potato doing this shit. No cop in sight. To any cops in LA, grow a fucking pair and do something about it.
They're all afraid of getting sued.
Dude, who isn't fucking pissed at that?
They're also they're constrained by the law, and that's fine. You know what I mean? Like I said, at some point, I believe that the laws are they're going to catch up because there's just things going on here right now that are starting to encroach on other people's rights. And take the legality and constitutional rights out of the equation for a minute. There's just basic human decency. If you see somebody, a stranger in public who is clearly grieving, and they ask you, please do not film me, that I'm putting my dog down. You don't fucking film them because you're a human being. That's what you're supposed to be anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was at my grandma's funeral forever ago, and I was in the most depressed state of my fucking life. Like, no sports, no video games could cheer me up. And if I had to see one of these assholes outside of the place going, ha ha ha, ha ha ha, I would kick their ass. I'm not in the goodest of moods on that fateful day. I'm a cold of winter when I'm trying to be as happy as I can be about my grandma's life. These people are fucking disgusting. And you know what? Hey, I'm calling out all masshole members. All masshole members. That picture that Kate posted just now, spread it everywhere. Furry's Facebook.
Hold on. Maybe we won't do that. But
yeah,
we won't. Yeah.
Go easy, Jacob.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I'm going all fuming and I hate to use wrestling. I hate to use wrestling as an example, but me walking out that aisle with a microphone, staring to the guy's face, being like, "What the fuck," But seeing that pisses me off. Like, I'm one of those people. I can't be the only one here that just feels like the cops in LA should have done something about that shit. Like, that's nice they gave the girl flowers and all that. That's nice they gave the girl flowers and all that, but I wish someone would have called and be like, listen, this guy's literally harassing someone as they're putting down an animal.
Well, one thing, dude, not for nothing, I don't even have a pet. So I wouldn't know the first thing about putting my pet down if I had one. But that shit still bothers me, dude, because that's just not right, dude. You don't fucking go and laugh at other people's fucking misery, dude. That's not fucking right. Especially like a lone like that lady's probably lonely, dude. Like that was probably her best friend and everything, dude. And she had to put the dog, him or her down, the dog. The poor thing. It's fucked up, dude. Like really, Furry needs to get kicked in the nuts.
Fix a lot of pets you nurture from a baby. You bring them up, you rear them. You're there when they're injured. You're there when they're good and healthy.
Or God forbid, sorry to interrupt, but God forbid that old lady's God forbid that old lady's dog is literally the last remainance of any company she has. God forbid her husband passed away and the dog was literally the only thing she had left.
Well, I mean, there was somebody with her.
Was there? I didn't see.
Yeah, there's a few people.
They could have been relatives. Again, we don't know. I'm just saying.
The whole thing was, it wasn't criminal. Okay. So, honestly, the police really couldn't have done much with it. It wasn't criminal. It's immoral. So I think we have to be careful with that because, we can't call for arrests or, because number one, there was nothing arrestable there. Number two, I don't want to live in a draconian society. I don't. I think that, kicking Furry's ass would also be a pretty bad idea because at the end of the day, that's what she wants because then she can see. You know what I mean? And I don't think that necessarily, I don't like to encourage mass campaigns of anything really. You know what I mean? Because I'm not into dog pie. I don't like doing that.
I understand but there's a fine line with this kind of bullshit. It's one thing if SGV's picking on a poor lady like I was on here a few weeks ago about, but it's another thing for Furry to pick on an elderly woman for this kind of shit. And I understand Furry wants her to get beat up, but to be quite honest with you, let's look at it like this. She probably wants to. She's begging to, and it might get her to shut up. I quite frankly, I'm not encouraging violence at Furry, but Furry's got to realize one of these days someone's going to pull up a gun and shoot Furry right square in the chest because Furry pissed off the person.
Jacob, you're missing one big point. Furry only gives a shit about Furry. That's the bottom line.
Right.
And if somebody does do something to Furry, it just only causes Furry to continue to do what she's doing because it gives her the views, the clicks, the money that she's looking for.
I don't know.
Yeah.
In a world we live in where YouTube's guidelines are so fucked, this alone just makes me question what the mentality of people uploading this shit is. I remember a time where I go on YouTube, right, and I watch Microwave This and all these other good shows. Now I'm on YouTube watching people get harassed for no fucking reason.
Here's the thing. We don't necessarily, I know I don't anyway, want to live in a society where everything is micromanaged by the powers that be. You know what I mean? I don't want to live in a society where the government is policing my every action. I don't want to live in a society where private tech companies are micromanaging the kind of content that could be out there. At some point, the responsibility lies on the individual to, just think about your fellow human being. That's all. You gotta just think about your fellow human being. What am I doing? Is it helpful or is it harmful? And if it's harmful, don't fucking do it. That's all. Don't fucking do it. And certainly, we're not forced to watch this sort of stuff. We do because of this fixation, and that's why a lot of the time we're using our powers of speech to debunk or criticize or, offer a counter to this sort of content. Because I don't think at any point that eradicating it is the answer. Number one, because it's draconian at that point. It's kind of overbearing for the government or tech companies. And number two, because it doesn't change anything. You can try to suppress these people and their behaviors and all that stuff. It's just going to more deeply entrench them into their line of thinking, right? Because then they're going to feel like victims. Oh, YouTube keeps taking me down. I think that YouTube is fair enough in their policies that there are avenues for people. If you don't want your image on YouTube, you can get your image taken off YouTube. You have that right. You have that right to privacy. I don't think that I don't think that the control should become more stringent, I guess is my point.
Okay, just to interrupt quickly. There's a super chat there. Just thought I'd bring it to your attention.
Oh, thank you so much. Mr. Goodbar, Mr. Goodbar, rather. Thank you, Mr. Goodbar. I know that we had another one, and I'm sorry, whoever donated it. We kind of went off on a tangent, but to the other person that donated, thank you very much. Thank you, guys. So.
No, I literally, like I exampled earlier, I literally was just like some guy in an aisle away, just grabbing a microphone. Like, I gotta say something, get off my chest.
One thing I'm gonna just say though, dude, real quick, I just want to say something real quick. Yo, dude, just next time, just be careful, cause you know we're not an army, bro. We're not gonna like go after like one person and do all this crazy shit like that. You know what I mean? Clearly, Furry deserves everything that comes to them. Everything. They deserve it, you know. But at the same time, we're not an army, dude. We can't just like.
I understand that. I just after seeing Furry's shit, I had this all pent up frustration.
No, I get you. Just be careful, bro. Because the thing is, man, is that people see that shit and then they start fucking like, they start to misconstrue things, you know.
It's cool. I just had to get a lot on my chest.
Hey, it's nothing but love, bro. Nothing but love, man.
Yeah, you know. Also, by the way, Kate, did you see that SGV's new video where he fucking used an autofilter?
Yes. Yeah.
I love how that's now their new result. Like, let's use a voice modulator.
Oh, it was ridiculous. So, on that note, enough of Furry. Let's move on. What?
I was gonna say you should have an interview with fucking We the People, Tyrant Wars.
Hey, listen, I don't have anything against We the People, Tyrant Wars. I hear like people complain about it a lot. I think they're all right. You know what I mean? I don't have a problem with money people though. So that's.
Hey, they have this little GIF with Furry looking like a zombie and doing the fucking zombie growls and shit. It's fucking beautiful. Oh man.
No. Let's talk about Abrams. What the fuck?
Oh yes.
Season 16 of Josh Abrams' ridiculous, terrible life choices. So the other day we found online that the state of Indiana is charging Josh Abrams yet again, this time with a misdemeanor charge. I know, like, what the fuck? How can you just stop getting charged and arrested? It's not that hard. Like, you know, I do it every day. I can leave my house and not get arrested. Most of us do. It's possible. I put in exactly zero effort into not getting arrested too. Like, literally,
for Josh, it's hard.
Yeah, just a little effort would be nice.
Josh hard.
I gotta say this real quick. With those titties, man, it's always a crime. You know?
Every time.
I'm sorry.
I blame Jimmy.
Listen, I had to sneak one in, just one.
I knew you couldn't do it.
Jimmy, it's all your fault.
That's my titty. Listen, that's my guy. That's my titty joke for the night. Okay, that's it. It's no more.
You're right.
All right. So anyway, so Josh gets charged with abusing the 911 call system, and it's from Clinton County, and it's from the incident was August 2nd. So this is the incident that he's being charged for. I think we've watched this again, but we're gonna watch it one more time. Just so that we can really, really grasp how fucking stupid he and Floyd Wallace were in this instance. So they're both being charged. Abrams has a teleconference hearing on the 15th. Last I checked, Floyd does not have one yet. But this is what they did to go after.
Do we need to preface this? Did they set this up and call 911?
So they did not, according to the charging documents, they did not call 911. They are charging them, and I'm not a lawyer, but the legal claim may be kind of flimsy. They're charging them because essentially they're alleging that they did this with the intent to get somebody to call 911 so they would get the police out there.
That's a bit of a stretch, isn't it?
I mean, they're not wrong. Like, obviously, you know, I'm sure that they would go, they would go, "Oh no, we didn't know that anyone would call 911." But why else would they do this? They literally are trying to get the police involved. So yeah, I mean that's obviously what they did.
Guys, I'm live streaming for our protection. We have the Sheriff's Department, Indiana. Yeah, we have the Sheriff's Department in Indiana drawing down on gunpoint. Gotta share this video. Filming while black. Filming while black. There's no RAS, there's no PC to have this man drawn at gunpoint. Governor's mandate orders that people wear a mask. So what happened is he's standing on a sidewalk with a camera wearing a
He was not standing there. He was crawling around on the ground like an idiot.
mask, and now he's at gunpoint. Standing on a public sidewalk is not a crime.
I'm being racially profiled. Sir, I'm being racially profiled. Look, right there.
Look at the response here, guys. Look at the response.
Why you hey, you supervisor, hey, you better pull that off. You better not point that at me. No. Step over there, please.
This is where I was told to stand. The officer told me to stand here. So the governor's mandate orders that he wear a mask. So he has a mask on. He's standing on a public sidewalk using a camera. All constitutionally protected activity. And the first point of contact, this sheriff's officer draws a firearm. This guy's got a machine gun. Standing on a sidewalk is not a crime, man.
I don't feel safe with those things out, sir. I don't feel safe. Leave the supervisor. That's all I'm asking. I'm not a threat. I have no ill intent. What's the name back from, sir? You're involved in this thing. What's the name back from? Okay. You're not, no, sir. Sir, not doing nothing. No. One more crime, sir. No, sir. I'm going to keep you safe. One more crime, sir.
So standing on a sidewalk and wearing a mask and filming is not suspicious. Suspicious in itself is not a crime. There's no reasonable articulable suspicion. There's no probable cause to secure this person. Keep in mind, guys, he's not resisting. Okay, drop your phone soft on the grass. I'm filming you. All right, the phone has been placed in his pocket. It was not searched. So I walked up on this guy. This guy is now being arrested or detained by these police. So it appears that this guy is being detained by sheriffs or Indiana Conservation and another sheriff's officer here. We got the clock going for 15 minutes. Once 15 minutes. No articulable suspicion, no probable cause.
Kate.
Okay, can we just stop that? His voice trying.
What's
up, Jimmy?
Why does Josh think he's a lawyer?
That's okay.
Yes,
So number one, first of all, I admit that it sounds a little bit flimsy what they're charging. I don't 100% know whether or not. I mean, I know that it's not currently being alleged that Josh made that 911 call, but he's still being charged regardless. Obviously, they staged this to get the police involved. Obviously, they escalated the situation through his behavior. If you notice too, I don't know if anybody else picked up on it, but Josh goes, "Oh, I just walked up on this guy and I'm just filming for my own protection," which doesn't make it look like they had great intentions to begin with, because no, the fuck you didn't. You showed up at this spot with this guy. You guys decided you were going to do this to draw the attention of the police, and you did that so that you could film.
Didn't that guy run right up to the police really quick with his hands in his pocket initially?
Yeah.
Well, before.
Hey, I find this comment funny. It says,
"Why would you do that?"
A wheelchair-bound wounded warrior veteran.
What?
You're breaking up.
Tube Sock says in the comments, "You're bashing a combat wounded veteran."
Who, Josh is? No, he's not.
No, there's
No, Furry.
Yeah. No.
We moved on from Furry. Keep up, Tube Socks.
Would
Stolen
love to
valor.
see the evidence of that.
Stolen valor.
Why would you run up to a cop with your hands in your pocket? That's just the dumbest shit I've ever.
So, can I provide some insight
Same.
on this one, Kate?
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
Okay, so there was a number of things. I'm looking at the comments as well too. So if, and I don't know, I didn't see the whole thing, but if it's like they said, because everybody knows that Josh Abrams, and people who maybe they don't know because they may just be watching this, but Josh Abrams and Floyd Wallace know each other very, very well. They film together all the time, trying to get reactions out of cops, and and Floyd Wallace talks about how all the time he's a cop watcher, or cop blocker, or whatever you want to call him. So anyway, so Josh saying, he has no idea who this is. He just walked up on the situation is bullshit. And we all know it. So number two, the guy, like I said, I didn't see at the beginning, but I think it was Pat that said or Jimmy that said he ran up to, the cop with the gun, or with his hands in his pockets. Exactly. You don't know what he's got in his pockets. If they staged this as a 911 call, they could have said a wide variety of things. And then Josh goes on commenting about why the officer got there so fast, the response or whatever. It's like, when you hear over the radio that a cop has a gun pulled out on somebody, that's not let me just take my time and get there. That person needs backup. So, because that is not a very common occurrence, especially if this is like a small town or something like that. That is not something that happens often. So, they were being as safe as they could, trying to make sure, this guy, because they don't know who this guy is. They don't know. And like I said, I don't know how they got the cops there. If they, like I said, if they called 911 falsely or what happened, but there could be a reason though for all of this besides, and also just the way that Wallace acts, because we've seen him crawling around on the ground before, acting very suspicious and different things, acting very aggressive towards police. And he said on his channel that he will continue to try to get reactions out of cops and push it to the limit. I'm quoting him directly on a video that I watched of his. So
we can even kind of call lie on this. Like, we know Josh is lying just in general. His mouth's open. Chances are he's lying. But he says that he walks up to this and he's just recording for his protection and whatnot. Then how does he know? If he just happened to walk up on this, how does he know that reaction time of that other cop was really fast? How does he know they didn't call 5 minutes before he got there, if he just happened to walk right up to it?
Yeah.
Well, you're looking at the old bait and switch situation here, where you light yourself on fire, you run around like an idiot, you create such a fucking commotion that these people get the 911 called on them, and Josh is playing the innocent game, which is nothing new. You have auditors with backup with cameras that are not in view all the time, and then they get all upset when they get detained like this because, of course, the cameras come on. All he was doing was standing on the sidewalk with a camera. That's it. Nothing else was going on here, guys. It's all the same old bullshit.
Yeah. I like how the officer pulls out a rifle too, and Josh is like, "It's a machine gun!" Like, shut the fuck up, Josh.
Yeah, right.
No,
That was a shotgun.
Yeah.
No, it was. I believe it was an AR-15. It looked like to me.
Yeah, it was his AR.
Right.
Kate, Harry said in chat, the video I was thinking about was another one where he ran up on him with his hands in his pocket.
Yeah.
My
That's a
bad,
different
I
video.
got it wrong. So this means
That's
they've
okay,
got
they've done
form
that.
and they've done this twice.
Yeah, they've done this more than twice. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's another
Yeah.
video that they did it where they actually could see the guy running to him.
Yeah.
My bad.
And
I
I
got my videos mixed up. My bad for that. I apologise. But yeah, so if you got Foreman doing this, Jesus, what the hell's wrong with these guys?
He's saying he's gonna push it to the limit. What, he's gonna fucking die? Just what? What kind of?
It's just this kid's going to get shot one day
Oh yeah.
because he's playing. He's being toyed with like Josh, like playing with a cat playing with a mouse.
It's not, yeah, and of course now Josh has since, now I believe he's kicked out News Now Omaha from the auditing community, because that's another thing that like a new habit of Josh is he is now excommunicating people from the auditing community at will, where he thinks he gets the authority to do so. I don't know, but he does, and that's what he's been doing. Actually, unfortunately, a lot of tonight's show, now that I think about it, it circles around Josh and his drama. He's like, he has so much cancer that I can feel tumors growing on my back whenever we talk about him. He is just cancer. But yeah, and while I'm on the subject of Josh, before we go off to the rest of this drama that either directly or loosely involves him, I just want to point something out. So we have a viewer, a friend of mine really, who goes by the screen name of Murfra. And Josh has been absolutely rashing this guy, threatening him, and insisting that Murfra has been calling his probation officer and the district attorney. Now, I know for a fact that that is not accurate. I have never seen any indication of Murfra ever calling the probation department or the DA. It never happened. I know that some people have. Murfra's just not one of those people. I do believe that Murfra called Josh's attorney about some sort of personal matter between the two of them. He admitted that freely. But Josh is just so fucking ridiculous. And he's paranoid, I'm sure, about his cases in Massachusetts, with good reason. But stop yelling at Murfra. Dear God, Josh. He's really not the one you want to be fucking with.
Murfra is a gentleman.
Murfra's a good guy. And
he's a
trust
wonderful
me,
bloke.
if he called Josh's probation officer or if he called the DA, he would fucking admit that. He would say, yes, I did. He's not afraid of you, Josh. It's just ridiculous. So although Josh is butthurt, thank you, Chalkboy. Josh is butthurt because News Now Omaha, Floyd, gets arrested in Massachusetts driving through here. He had a headlight out, cracked windshield, driving at 1:00 in the morning. They pull him over because, hi, buddy, this is Massachusetts. They're gonna fucking pull you over for that. I'm a white woman, and if I was driving at 1:00 in the morning with one headlight out and a cracked windshield, they'd pull me over too. That's what they do here. And so the state police pull him over. They're asking him for ID. He's refusing to ID. He's being a fucking dick, and they end up taking him in and towing his car for refusal to ID and disorderly conduct. So they immediately put this plea out, claim the kid's bail. What they say the kid's bail was? Do you guys remember? It was something astronomical, right?
No, I don't remember. I'm surprised though that he's not claiming it's $800.
I think they said it was $1,500 or something, which is just not. That's not possible. No, in Massachusetts, bail is not punitive. Bail is just to ensure that you go to court the next day. You've got disorderly conduct and refusal to ID. Neither of these are even jailable offenses. There is absolutely no way that they're demanding $1,500 in bail, even with him being out of state. Didn't happen. Absolutely did not happen. But yeah, so Floyd goes to court the next day. He takes a plea deal. He gets one of the charges dismissed. The other one's a $30 fine on his way. That's what an intelligent human being would do. Josh immediately goes, he's a fraud because he took a plea bargain. Well, Josh, you dumb son of a bitch. I know for a fact that next week, sorry, maybe a week and a half from now, you're going in front of a judge because you have a plea bargain on the table right now. Now, if Josh is an intelligent human being, he'll take that plea bargain. I'm pretty sure that he will, because otherwise you're doubling, but that's what happens. That's how the justice system works. You're kicking this kid out of your stupid fucking club because he took a plea bargain when you've taken plea bargains before and you have one on the table right now. Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, Kate, you got the Tube Sock 7. There's a comment there, done.
No, ignore Tube Sock. Tube Sock is very clearly trolling us. Like, that's obvious.
Five tours of combat now.
Yeah.
She's in a wheelchair because of it.
Right. Tube Sock is not serious, though. Like, that, I don't understand how you guys could even read his comments and think he's not.
It was 4 last week, Tube Sock.
Yeah, he's trolling us, which is fine. Do your thing, buddy.
That's a great troll, though. I mean, it's so outrageous to believe.
That's why I wonder if they're trolling Furry or trolling us.
Trolling us, yeah. Same thing with, Tube Sock comes in and says that Josh is an American hero. He's never broken the law. He saves women and children. Obviously, that's not true. Yeah, now he's like, wow, you're going to block my comments. Obviously, we're not blocking your comments. Do your thing, boo-boo. I don't even care.
You said we were blocking them.
We're not, though. It's just Tube Sock trolling. So speaking of Josh, Sasha, you here with us, my love?
Here.
Good. Do you want to walk us through the last days of freedom?
No. So
I could do it if I want to. You did so much work on this. You did so much work on this.
I mean, you got all the screenshots. I can give a brief synopsis, and then you can go through with the screenshots. So, last days of freedom, Mr. Payne, he is quite the fraud. So I started by going and looking up in Fort Wayne, Indiana, where they claimed he was arrested at. Spoke to the detention center. He was not booked. Called. Then it was Nashville, so I called Nashville. He was never booked. So that really made me start looking into what does this guy got going on. So I started looking and looking. He's got quite the criminal history. I'm waiting on. I sent in a request for all the information on his criminal history, but I haven't got it back yet. So right here, what we're looking at is this is if you remember Josh talking about the bail sheet that he had to give. So it obviously doesn't look real. So I started looking at that. So I zoomed in, and right where it says Jeremiah, if you look really close, you actually see Samantha. Samantha is Jacob's wife, or I mean Jeremiah's wife. So then I went to right there. You can see it said if you look where right at the end you see the THA. Over the E you see the A. You can tell that this is a court. So obviously the bondsman probably kept the original and this is her copy, and then he scribbled out the bonding agency, so obviously nobody could call. So when that started, I set out to see if I could find anything on Samantha. Well, and Kate probably has it somewhere, but I handed over like 80 screenshots today, but somewhere in the files that I sent Masshole, there's a criminal charge for a failure to appear, and I don't know what it means. They got to GoFundMe for everything. One that I found really interesting was he was supposedly getting evicted out of a house in Kentucky, and was served an eviction notice or whatever. I've never been evicted, so I don't know what it is, but I have requested from the clerk of the county a copy of the eviction, because he's claiming that it was during when evictions were banned for coronavirus. Well, to me, that already throws up a red flag.
Now, hold on. I can explain this a little bit more.
Okay.
And this is actually a huge red flag. Okay, so there was a moratorium put on evictions, right, on the federal level, and then state by state they were doing it. The only exception to this stop on evictions right now is criminal behavior. So if you're not paying your rent, I can't evict you. If the DEA comes in and raids your apartment because you're selling heroin out of it, like, I can evict you for that. Using drugs, selling drugs, domestic violence, things of that nature, you can be evicted for. So if Jeremiah Payne and Samantha are in fact legitimately being evicted, it's not for non-payment of rent. That's not possible right now. It would be because of some sort of criminal conduct within the unit. So, I mean, and they have a lot of GoFundMes. They have a lot of GoFundMes.
Well, the thing that was funny to me was they were being evicted. They were being evicted out of Kentucky, but they live in Tennessee. So how do you get evicted out of a state that you don't even reside in?
Right, and this was created on July 17th. So this was very much when evictions were stopped.
Yeah. So I mean, there's GoFundMes, and like one of the GoFundMes, I want to say, if you could find the one that he posted to it's one of them, but it's like he posts it on YouTube in his community section for helping with an eviction, but then when you go to it, it's in the body of the GoFundMe, it's like, I fight for your First Amendment, help me travel, blah blah blah, like something like that. And
yeah,
and
sorry.
And he had just got $390 10 days prior, and I say that $390 was sent to the GoFundMe 10 days prior to his fake arrest.
Right. I'm seeing here August 19th. He has a GoFundMe up to sue the Kentucky State Police in the city. No money was raised on that. I'm seeing, hold on. Sorry, that's inmate information. There's a lot of information here. I'm probably going to have to put this either into a document up on Patreon, or I might just write it in a blog. Okay, here's another one. The Days of Freedom on the Road. This is from February 19th, 2020. $630 was raised on that one. I mean, a lot of GoFundMes. It's pretty crazy. Some of these screenshots we're not going to be able to read anyway, but it's him complaining about people background searching his terrible criminal record. And here's another GoFundMe. This one is February 19th. Oh, it's the same one. It's the...
Yeah, I normally took screenshots in threes, like the start of it, the middle, and then like the last.
Right. Hold on, let me go back and just get more of the GoFundMe ones. I mean, it's just really, it's crazy the amount of GoFundMes these guys have, and it seems like it's always and I think what seems to have started this is in 2018, was it? Hold on, let me pull up the fire. Okay, yeah, here we go. So it looks like July 17th of 2018. It looks like they had a house fire fire for whatever reason. I don't know. And they raised over $10,000, right? And this seems to be sort of like the advent of them doing all these GoFundMe's because obviously they had quite a bit of success with this fire one.
Yeah, I mean, he has GoFundMe's out there. His wife has GoFundMe's out there.
Here, I mean, like, read the fucking description here. It says, our apartment got fire Saturday around midnight. It started in kitchen and took over well, I think that means whole apartment, but while apartment, we lost everything. We have an 8-month-old baby girl, me and my husband. Even though it was not our fault, we are still without a place to live and no belongings at all. Like, that is your fault. Like, you started your fucking kitchen. We have no renter's insurance, so there's no money coming. We are in a motel until Thursday, and then we are nowhere. Like, again, it's your fault that you don't have renter's insurance. It's your fault that you set your fucking kitchen on fire at midnight. Like, Jesus Christ.
You believe the story?
I'm still looking into it. Once I get confirmation whether there was or wasn't a fire or anything like that, I'll give it over to Kate. But I haven't confirmed that there is. But I haven't confirmed that there was.
2 years ago. I mean, there had to be enough credence to it that they were able to raise that much money. But I mean, this is clear. I mean, I would assume that they're drug addicts with the way that they're begging for money. This is November 14th, 2019. Samantha says, I need help. We found a house to rent that we can afford, that my mother-in-law can be with us. Her health is getting worse every week. Has to have blood because she's still bleeding internal. What? And her heart is, I think that's supposed to say failing, but it's spelled FAIKI space G. What? All she wants is to be in house with her only granddaughter. I am going to be $700 short on total amount. A lot of this just is not even spelled very well at all. It's the ramblings of a drug addict.
So the only thing is they weren't lying then, but obviously he was lying now over this arrest.
Right. Yeah, here's another October 13th. Click here to support Terminal Women Needs to Move, organized by Samantha Payne. That's another GoFundMe. I mean, she just has a ton. And then, of course, this false eviction. Yeah, there's no way. They are claiming that the Logan County Sheriff's Department in Kentucky served them with an eviction notice, and they have to show up to court on the 15th. They admit there's a eviction ban in the state of Kentucky. Yeah, that just literally makes no sense. That is not honest, because if there's an eviction ban, then they're not going to have eviction court dates right now. Like, there's no way to fudge that system, unless, of course, they were doing something criminal in the apartment, in which case you can still be addicted.
Right.
You can always go to the county that they're claiming that the eviction happened, and if they have open records with the court, look for an unlawful detainer.
The Kentucky, that county doesn't have online court records, so I've had to email the clerk.
Okay.
To inquire whether there has been one or there wasn't. So I'm waiting on a response. I haven't got one yet.
And this kid's such a piece of shit too, because all right, like, listen, like, obviously there is no love lost between me and Josh Abrams. I don't think that he makes good choices with his life, but you know, to his credit, he figures out that he's been had. He calls this kid out, and this kid responds by then doxing Josh's phone number on his fucking community page of YouTube. And I actually saw it. He shared a blog of mine that I had written back when I was with the other channel or whatever. And I told him, like, look, like, I'm the author of that blog. Obviously, I'm not a huge fan of this kid, but you're the scumbag here. And if you have king of the $800 bail scams calling you out for being a scam artist, like, you've really fucked up here. Like, I would eat that and shut the hell up. And of course, now Josh is doxing that guy's number back, and they're going back and forth, which is just ridiculous. But I mean, yeah, this Jeremiah Payne character is a grade A idiot as far as I'm concerned. He's just a dumb person. Like,
yeah, I mean, well, the way that I look at it is once you lie to scam money out of people, everything you've ever asked for money in the past and everything you will ever ask for in the future is also a scam. And that's the way that I look at it. I know it's probably not like that in reality, but I'm sorry. The him being arrested in Nashville for a charge in Kentucky that allegedly took place in Indiana, like, your story doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense at all. And saying computers are down at the jail or whatever, sure, computers go down, but all that information would have been entered once you were released or once their computer systems came back up. And personally, if the computers are down or whatever, I don't foresee the jail like really letting anybody out without doing other checks to make sure they don't have warrants and out of state holds and all that stuff that goes on when you're booked and released in jail. Like, I could be wrong, but to me, it was a very fishy story, which led me down the rabbit
he
hole.
was not arrested. He is not on any. When you go through the list of everyone that was arrested that evening, like, his name's not on there, her name's not on there. We looked up the criminal records. There's absolutely nothing in there that indicates that there's a new case open. It didn't fucking happen. And obviously that stupid, faked bail slip just kind of like cinches it. Because I mean, there's no reason that you would have to write over an old bail slip if you really, got bailed out. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I agree. That was just kind of the icing on the cake.
Oh, okay. So yeah, Payne is now claiming the DA has dropped both charges on his live today. Well, that's because they never fucking existed. There's that. So I mean, no.
So then that leads me to the next question: how can a district attorney for the state of Tennessee drop a charge for the state of Kentucky? It wouldn't work like that. If he was arrested on an out-of-state charge, he would have to be held pending an extradition hearing to the next state.
Exactly. And they may not even extradite him depending on the charge, how serious it is. So, I mean.
And beyond that, like, if the charges were dropped, they would have to exist in the first place. So, like, there would still be record of these charges existing, and there's just none. There's no open cases. Everything that came up on him is closed. So it's already been disposed of. There was absolutely nothing new that came up.
Did you discover if there was a fire?
She's still looking into it.
Because isn't that fraud if you claim money and, saying your house burnt down, the kid's got no toys or clothes or whatever left and people donate? Isn't that fraudulent?
Yeah, but that becomes kind of a moot point. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and assume that where the GoFundMe it contains pictures and enough people donated to it that there must be some validity. They probably didn't lie about the fire. They're delusional if they say, well, but it wasn't our fault though. If the fire started in your fucking kitchen at midnight, you have now done something, right, to start a fire. I am a residential property manager. I deal with this all the time. I manage condominiums. They are, for all intents and purposes, set up like apartments, people living next to each other and stacked on top of, like, there is no such thing. Well, I shouldn't say no such thing. The likelihood of a no-fault kitchen fire is extremely slim to none. Like, if there is a kitchen fire that started in your kitchen, you have done something, and that fire is your fault. Whether you were careless and left food on the stove, whether you, don't clean out your drip cans enough and there's debris that lit on fire. If you're cooking meth or crack or something like that, like, you've done something to cause that fire.
Or if you're drunk or high off your tits, trying to cook a feed.
Right.
Yeah,
well,
things go south.
The last thing I'm gonna say, is that being that all this happened and I have all the recordings and stuff, I'm gonna be contacting a detective in Bowling Green and a detective in Nashville, and I'm gonna send it over to them to see, because money was collected for something that did not happen, and see if it's something that they want to pursue.
I mean, yeah, I think these theft by deception or wire fraud packages are tough. They're tough because I haven't seen anybody, prosecuted for it in the time that I've been paying attention to the predator community. And there's certainly, the community is rife with it, but
it is, like Kate said, it's very, very difficult to try to get somebody with wire fraud or theft by deception if it's over the internet. Now, because we know who these individuals are, would be easier for investigators to get after somebody. A lot of times what's hard is when you have somebody that's in another country that defrauds somebody here in the U.S. That's where a lot of the problems have, and they're hiding, their IP address or whatever. But because these guys were very blatant, it might be easier for them. So it might be worth a shot.
I mean, yeah. So one of the biggest things that I got accomplished, and I just found out that they finally charged him was I come from the Pearl community, like the Facebook MLM community, and there was a lady in Pennsylvania that was just stealing money, selling stuff that had already been sold, not shipping it, all this stuff. So I did an awareness page on them, and I got over 200 victims that had bought stuff and it hadn't been shipped. And I went to Pennsylvania. I met with detectives from the county investigator's office, and they just charged them with all different counts of fraud. So I just like to have everything put together and put in a nice little envelope. So when I go meet with them or I talk to them, I just say, here you go. Here's everything that I got and all that stuff.
Good stuff, Sasha.
Detective Sasha.
So, within the same theme of just complete disregard for human dignity, can we talk about what the fucking resistance did this week?
Oh, that's a good one.
It's terrible. Terrible. So I think the only video left of this is Schrodinger's cat, because I had originally, I can't remember whose panel I was on, but I was talking on somebody's panel. They were talking about this, filming. So essentially what the resistance does is he goes down to a battered women's shelter and he starts, walking around, filming the shelter, filming the women through the windows. Obviously, that's just incredibly, incredibly dangerous at a battered woman's shelter. These women have fled for their lives, often with children, and their privacy and anonymity is of the utmost importance. So he doesn't give a shit, and he's filming them anyway. And as we were talking about it, I said, well, yeah, I would go report and flag that video immediately. Like, that's a fucking no-brainer. It shouldn't be on the internet because these things are very localized. So like, you're on the YouTube world, but you're filming things that are of local, interest. So, I mean, it is feasible to assume that through word of mouth, one of these women's abusers, exes, the person that she's running from could get notice that she has been filmed in this building, which not only puts her at risk, but everybody in there, staff, other residents, children, the whole 9 yards. So I know the video was flagged and taken down, thank God, because it's dangerous. But Schrodinger's cat did put up a video, and we can watch that one anyway. Maybe we can.
Hey, I just sent you something really funny to Discord. I don't know if you can see it, but apparently Josh has new charges.
Which ones? More?
Yes.
For what?
Are you
Yes.
So, okay, I'll just read it. Last Days of Freedom posted 22 minutes ago and said, "Hey everyone, I changed my phone number due to Josh harassment and posting my number on his channel two times. And because I got death threats to myself, my wife, and 3-year-old daughter, I showed the text to the same cop who was already on the case. And I was able to file harassment charges on Josh and threats to do bodily harm. And I will be suing him for defamation. So Josh, you fucked up, and I will be contracting your probation officer in Middlesex County District Attorney Office in Massachusetts, your pretrial probation officer. And yes, thanks to a subscriber, I do know who he is. So you're screwed, Josh. You did this to yourself. Tag accountability for all.
Hold on. Do we have proof of these charges actually existing?
No, we don't have proof. I'm just saying what he posted. So apparently,
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, and until I see any proof that these charges exist, which I'm going to say right now, I'm going to put it on the record. I highly doubt. It's just the ramblings of a butthurt drug addict. Again, I'm not a fan of Josh Abrams. Don't get me wrong, but come on. Yeah, he's literally rage typing over there, I got you charged, and this is all your fault. Blah blah blah. First of all, Last Days of Freedom definitely doxed Josh's phone number first. Okay, that happened. So, I can't imagine the fucking cops jumping on this and being like, "Oh, we'll pick him up right away." No, the fuck they're not. I've actually been harassed via the phone, and they don't do a lot about it. They really fucking don't. I think that he's full of shit. What county does he say he's getting charged in?
He doesn't say. The only county in here is Middlesex County District Attorney. So
okay, well, Middlesex County definitely is not charging Josh with that. That's
yeah,
not
right.
happening.
I mean, I agree. I just happened to go look, and I seen that, so I felt the need while we were just talking about him. Just going to throw it out there. Allegedly, Josh has one in Tennessee now.
I definitely know. I really do.
You're reading the words of a known liar. That was lie rage.
I know that. I'm just saying what he posted.
Yeah, and the problem too is it'd be, like I said, I don't know how the wiretapping or harassment laws work up in Massachusetts, but it'd be very hard unless there's some, I don't know how what is required for the charge to prove basically because they would have to prove that it was Josh the one who sent the death threats or did the harassing or whatever. Him just throwing out somebody's number. Well, yes, he's throwing out somebody's number, but he's not the one necessarily calling and doing the harassment or whatever. So it'd be kind of hard to prove.
Right. No, I mean, I don't see that as realistic. I don't.
Do you love boating?
Hold on.
Well, Freedom Boat Club makes boating easier than ever. At Freedom Boat Club, we buy the boats and you enjoy them. Here's how it works. First, we buy and maintain a fleet of brand new boats. Then, you pay a one-time fee and monthly dues. You can go online anytime using...
All right. Now I can skip the ad. Thank God. So, like I said, we don't have the Damn it. I really don't have the processor power to be sharing videos, but I don't know where Pat went. Pat disappeared. Which is fine, but not for sharing videos. I don't think it's going to work for me. Ugh. Nope. I don't know. We might have to skip this one because I don't think it's gonna play on my shit. Here we go. All right, we got it.
When I was watching this for the first time, but I'm gonna try to be professional while I do this.
Any reason why you was asking me while I'm recording, sir? Because you're standing in front of a women's only building. And what crime is that? Is that a crime? Women? Is that a crime? I don't know. If you're trying to peek through windows, yeah. No, it's not a crime. That's not a crime, sir. That's not a crime. It can be considered one. Okay.
Seriously, what are these subhumans gonna do next? Film cancer patients at a children's hospital?
Oh, come on.
Civil society protects its most vulnerable members from scum like this. I'm really trying to keep my composure.
If your windows are open, I'm able to look through them. It's no crime for that. No crime. Y'all did call the cops, right? Okay. I just heard the call go off. All right, no problem. I'll wait for them. Go talk to these guys. So I got a report of our friend here. He hasn't given me my name or anything yet. He was reportedly trying to look through windows, trying to touch windows, get in through windows, come over, and he's sitting here recording, saying there's no problem with standing up the sidewalk, recording all the females entering negative. You can't do. Trying to have emails. You don't want to move along. Yeah, that's excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. No, you didn't ask me what was going on. You listened to his side, and you're giving me directives, and you didn't hear my side. Were you doing this earlier too? I'll let you know. Name the badge number, please. 5162 Austin Alley. Name the badge number. 1733 off the phone. Okay, so you're listening. You're going to listen to this guy before you hear my side of the story. This is the woman's side of the shelter. So if you want to stay on the other side of the shelter. No, this is a public street. I'm able to stand on the street, and I'm able to record whatever I can see. You guys know that. It doesn't matter if it's a woman's shelter. I'm on public street. Are you trying to stay? So that's what I'm asking. Are you trying to stay in the shelter? No, I'm on a public street, and I'm recording. I'm an independent journalist gathering content for a story.
I'm tired of hearing that lie. I'm gathering content for a story. None of these troglodytes have ever produced a news story.
I don't have to answer that because that would compromise my story, sir. Okay. So, listen. You need to say, first of all, they made a false report that I was trying to enter the windows. You guys need to conduct an investigation if you feel as though there's a crime that's being made and check out their surveillance. I never tried to go in anybody's windows. The detectives will follow up. Okay, well, they need to follow up on it then. But am I detained? Yes, you're being detained right now. Why am I being detained? Can you articulate the crime that I committed? You've been filmed. They're saying you're filming inside the woman. Okay, did you conduct an investigation to find? Detectives will follow up with that. Did you conduct? So wait a minute. You're detaining me without knowing if I committed a crime, right? No, I didn't say that. Well, the only way you can detain me is if I committed a crime.
That's not true.
You see? Am I detained? All right. Have a nice day. There you go. You're free to.
Matt. Dear Jesus, can you please explain this?
So, for people that don't know, a cop can detain you in the course of an investigation if he has reasonable articulable suspicion that a crime may or has been committed. So if he's trying to figure out, and there's laws in certain states about, peeping toms and all kinds of things, this dude's acting suspicious, filming a freaking battered women's shelter, they don't know what's going on. So, he could be an abuser and violating a TPO. They don't know that. Right. So they are a temporary protective order for people who don't know what a TPO is. So they're going to detain him to investigate him. So guy's an idiot.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to stand here and record. If you guys are ordering me to leave and giving me a lawful request, then I'm going to leave under threatened duress. I will leave under threatened duress, and this will be reported to your supervisor. Okay, so are you giving me a lawful order to leave? I'm telling you to leave, yes. Okay, no problem.
He said he would leave if they asked him to, and then they asked him to, and then he didn't leave. If it were up to me, it would be taser time. Better yet, he should get a taser pepper spray cocktail. If you haven't caught on yet, I'm not a fan of this moron.
Could you call a supervisor, please? Yes, I need a supervisor.
So now Karen wants to speak to a manager.
Do you think it's acceptable to videotape a woman's shelter? Can you quote law that I committed a crime? Can you quote that law, sir?
They're going to explain to him why it's a crime in a minute, but they shouldn't have to. If you're the type of person that has to have a law to get you to act like a human, as far as I'm concerned, you should be ostracized from the civilized world.
Thank you.
Anytime, anywhere, you think it's acceptable to videotape a woman? Let me explain something to you. Let me explain something to you. Let me explain something to you, please. Can I explain something to you? Yeah, I can answer my question. No, I don't have to. I don't have to answer that question. Go ahead. The onus falls on them to protect the client's privacy. I am well within my rights to record. I am on a public street. You cannot trespass my eyes. If they have a problem with me recording, they need to protect the client's privacy. There's no expectation. You can't show respect. Excuse me. Show respect. So is that a problem? That's what it is? Is your feelings are involved? My feelings are. It's for the woman that you're videotaping.
These women are victims, and he is re-victimizing them. It may be old-fashioned for me to say, but I was raised to protect women and children. Whoever raised this guy failed.
How you doing, sir? Sergeant, right? Okay. So I was out here on public recording. I didn't breach any private property, anything. I did see the windows.
Hold on. Look at who we have in the comments. John, piece of shitbag, McCullough himself, the resistance. Why don't you come on up and defend your fucking actions, sir? Here, can we get him an invite? Let's give him a fucking invite. John, the resistance, whatever we're calling you today. If you want to come on up, you can come on right up and explain why you were re-victimizing victims of domestic violence, putting their safety in jeopardy for a non-existent news story. Come on up, buddy.
I'd like to ask him how his case is going with his wife and child. Aren't you still in family court?
Yeah, you want to talk about re-victimizing. You put your own child's personal information out there as it relates to an adult court case. You're a terrible person. You're a fucking terrible person. I am not going to make the determination whether you did or did not do what was alleged by your ex. I don't know. But I sure know that I wouldn't want that attached to my child for life on the internet. You stupid piece of shit. Come on up here. Come on up here.
I bet he doesn't.
They rarely do.
Get up here, mate. You got over. Kate's offered you to come up and defend yourself or state your case.
Yeah, come on up, buddy. Come on up. I'm just a lady. You should have no fear at all.
You're embarrassing yourself, mate. You're not taking up this opportunity to state your case.
No, you want to run your mouth in the comments. Come on up and explain yourself. You can have absolute. I won't even interrupt you when you speak. I'll mute everybody else so they can't too. But I would really, really, really like to hear your justification for this, John.
If you stay in chat, champ, you're proving to be a coward. Come up and state your case. Be a man.
Thank you, Jim. Jim says I'm not a cop that has something to lose. Exactly, sweetie. I got nothing to lose. I'm a piece of shit too. So come on.
Yeah, but Kate, you pulled it off well. You're so cute.
I mean, seriously, dude, if you want to fucking, potentially get an abuser to watch your video and freaking, abuser could be watching your shit, or somebody who knows the abuser of one of these women could be watching your video, and then they could let that abuser know that woman is in that shelter, and you just freaking let them know where they are. It's disgusting.
You could have cost a woman her life.
Exactly.
You could have cost a lot of people their lives, because that does happen. That does happen where these abusers find out where these women are and people die.
He's too scared. Let's move on. What a chicken. What a coward.
You are. You're a fucking coward. You are a fucking coward. You have absolutely no problem accosting victims of domestic violence.
Well, if it's our opinion, then why don't you come up and state why it's a false opinion?
Hasn't got the kahunas.
I'm also aware that could be a troll profile, but
could be.
This makes me so angry. This makes me so angry because there's just absolutely no justification for this behavior whatsoever. None. And listening to him argue with this police officer, we'll finish up this video. It's just, absolutely no personal accountability for his actions, being a decent human being, treating others with respect, living in a civilized society. He doesn't care about any of that. All he cares about is filming these women through the windows for a purported news story that we all know doesn't exist. This is not a news story.
That was open, and I recorded that as well. they received a report by this guard over here that I was trying to enter into the windows, which is not true. I have everything on footage. They told me that these guys right here are enforcing feelings rather than law because they were saying, I'm an independent journalist gathering content for a story. So they told me that the women and the staff are feeling uncomfortable because I'm recording. But that feelings don't trump where my rights start. I'm on a public property. I haven't done anything wrong. They're telling me that I have to leave. And I would like you to educate your officers that I'm not doing anything wrong.
Why don't you give me a minute to talk to them, all right?
Okay, no problem.
In a way, I like the way this sergeant handled this situation, but I would have rather seen them arrest him after they bounced his head off the sidewalk a few times.
Then they should protect the privacy.
You're doing a little bit more than gathering in a public place.
Okay.
When you go and start sticking a camera into the windows and filming the interior of a building, people have an expectation of privacy in the interior of a building.
Right, which means they should create the privacy.
I know. We actually have something in the law called the peeping Tom.
Peeping Tom?
Yeah.
Peeping Tom. And is that
that's basically what your conduct qualifies as right now.
And that applies to a building, a public building.
Yes,
that applies
absolutely.
to a public building.
This is a women's shelter. They have an expectation of privacy inside the shelter. You're placing yourself filming inside the windows.
Okay.
That qualifies you as a peeping Tom.
So if I was looking in the window,
Excuse me, Kate.
You're going to have
Kate.
You're going to either walk away now, or we can always take you to jail.
Kate, can
I
I?
won't walk away under threatened arrest for being arrested.
Great.
That's not a problem.
Yes, Jimmy.
Sorry to interrupt. Do you not have laws in America that prevent places like that from?
We can talk about it after. We're just going to finish the
All
video.
right. All right. Sorry.
That's okay.
Michael Grail, ID number 108886. Have a nice night.
Thank you. Well, all you guys have a nice night, and this will be uploaded on YouTube.
Have a nice night, sir.
Yeah. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a peeping Tom.
And you have to be threatened with arrest to do the right thing. I have nothing but contempt for these people. It's a shame that we have to put up with them.
Even if you have a perfect. So, I mean, there are laws that handle situations like this. Yes. Whereas, is there specialized protection for battered women's shelters in particular? No.
I was just wondering if they'd be exempt from. I know you got the right to film in public and anything you can see with your eyes, all that rah rah rah. I just thought places like that might be exempt from that for privacy and protection.
Well, you see, a lot of the time, like these shelters they're in inconspicuous places. They're not. There's no signage out front that would indicate that it's a shelter. You know, they're pretty well hidden, and the same protections that would apply to any private property at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think they should be exempt from that sort of. I know you got your rights and all that. I just think that should be an exemption. That's my own opinion.
Well, most people wouldn't dare take photographs, video, anything like that of a woman's shelter because they have morals and human decency, knowing what those people go through. This person, apparently not so much.
Yeah, well, clearly he doesn't, so that's a shame.
So just to, and I'm sure that Massachusetts probably has a similar statute. So in Georgia, we have 16-11-61 that's offenses. So it falls under it's Chapter 11 against public order safety, Article 3 invasions of privacy, and it says wiretapping, eavesdropping, surveillance, and related offenses. And it says peeping toms. It says it shall be unlawful for any person to be a peeping tom on or about the premises of another, or to go about or upon the premises of another for the purpose of becoming a peeping tom. It says the definition of peeping tom means a person who peeps through windows or doors or like places on or about the premises of another for the purpose of spying upon, invading the privacy of persons spied upon, and the doing of any other acts of a similar nature which invade the privacy of such persons. So that would, I would say he could definitely be charged in Georgia with that.
So wouldn't that pretty well negate anyone filming in public and getting their eyes trespassed? Can't trespass the eyes?
No, because because in that building they have a reasonable expectation of privacy as a battered women's shelter, I would say. Now again, the courts
Doesn't a
would have
home
a
have
home
the
does
same?
as well too. Exactly. Now there are some
So
exceptions.
Furry filming that Jewish 4 people, two couples, is that a breach of peeping Tom laws or not? In your opinion, Matt? Because they were at their home, they were sitting having a meal or wine or a drink or whatever, and Furry filmed them. Is that peeping Tom-ish, for want of better words, or no?
No, it's not quite the same. No, because she wasn't actually. As I recall, they were outside, correct?
Yes, on their front patio, veranda,
Right.
or whatever it was. So if it's got to be like inside the windows or something, into a bedroom or into a front lounge or something.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Matt had his camera.
There we go. Yeah, sorry.
So it's got to be like inside the
so
building,
there's-
not
so
just
there-
out the front on the property.
There are places that have reasonable expectations of privacy in there, because like for example, if you have a house that has all glass in the front and you walk naked up to the glass, you can be charged with public indecency even though you're in your own house. It's because of the way because even though in your house you have a reasonable expectation of privacy, if you got all the windows open and everything and somebody can see you, then that's different. That guy was kind of lurking around, and I didn't see the video if he was, because we only saw what Schrodinger's cat had, which was the interaction with the security guard. But if he's looking through multiple windows trying to see stuff, that could definitely get him in trouble.
Yeah.
So
That's what he was doing.
mhm.
Okay, thanks for clearing that up. I just wasn't sure. I was a bit confused. So thanks for that, Matt.
May I raise a point, please?
Sure.
Do I like raise my hand and stuff? As I here before, I'm a retired policeman, 36 years. And when you go over this stuff, the Constitution only covers X amount of things. The founding fathers never envisioned cell phones, etc. And like Kate mentioned earlier, for instance, using Zoom on these telephones, I don't see, well, they're getting by with it because nobody challenges them on it. But a lot of this stuff, we, the fuzz, would be better off to go ahead and charge these people on a lot of this stuff. Perfect example, Indiana. Josh and the fat man are up there getting by with mean mouthing all these people and that. In Indiana, we have a charge called provoke, which is pretty simple. And that is, I suppose it's something similar to words that would cause a prudent person to want to fight and so on. But it's a little easier to prove in Indiana. I don't understand why Lafayette and these other departments don't charge them. If you lose the case, you lose the case. In 36 years, I lost a couple. So, I mean, they just let them get by with it. And then they get to running their mouth and they say, well, I've got 10 million followers. Who gives an old gray rat's ass how many followers they got? That don't mean anything. The average person doesn't know anything about what these people do. Okay, that's it. I can put my hand down.
Thank you. No, I mean, and that was clearly private property. that he was filming, into the windows. Like, there's no question about it. It's not, again, why these people continue to do this. Animal hospitals, people's homes, private businesses, battered women's shelters. Like, are you fucking kidding me? But if you look at the footage there, it very clearly says no trespassing, no loitering, right? Like, that is marked private property. Like, you can't be filming in the windows.
Well,
looking clicks and views and money.
Yeah, well, and so often the people that are in charge of security there are private security. Some of these guys talk a mean story, and I've seen a lot of people fall for that. It's against the law for you not to identify yourself. I mean, just stuff like that.
Right.
Is that Murph with us?
Yes, it is. Hello.
Hey, Mark.
G'day, my guy.
Hey, everybody. How's everybody doing?
I love you, Murph.
Love you too, Jimmy. Love
Yeah,
everybody.
my guy.
Murphy loves everybody, man.
Good evening, all.
Everybody.
G'day,
Hey,
NJ.
NJ.
Oh, hold on, guys. I just want to say, hey, Schrodinger's cat, thank you for allowing us to cover your video. That was really good work. So we love you too. And thanks for the
Schrodinger's a champion.
I love his videos.
He's fantastic.
Him and DJ are amazing guys.
Mm-hmm.
Kate, I just wanted to say hello and thank you. The show has been great so far. And I appreciate you being a great friend to me and everybody else. And I just wanted to let you guys know, I'm not sure if you'll know, I just dropped out of Discord for a while, needed a break.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm not into all that with the spy crap and all that. That's just not me. I'm not into that. Once I seen that, I dropped out, and I dropped out of Sancho's Discord too. I got much love for him too, and like I was saying, I get along with everybody, except I have my problems with some people here and there, but it's all good, and I appreciate what you said, Kate. I just wanted to say, for myself, Josh, you heard it. Yes, I did call your lawyer. As a matter of fact, I didn't speak to your lawyer. I spoke to the secretary, okay? So, stop the fucking lying, man the fuck up, and start acting like a man. That's number one. Number two, to, what's his name? Brian, okay? If you thought you were going to get $350 out of me, you're crazy. Okay, I just threw that out there because I didn't fucking forget what you did to Kate. Okay, so $350, you're fucking crazy, son. All right, and you actually believe that. All right, me and you are around the same age, so I'm not as stupid as you think. And that's about it. I'm just here to support Massol and the crew, and I got love for everybody. And that's about it. Love you too, baby. And I love you guys and everybody that supported me.
Always, Murpha. Yeah, I know. Like I said, if Murpha called the PO, he would fucking tell you. He's not somebody who does anything and is scared of what he's doing. Yeah, this is not a man afraid of his own stuff.
Wasn't me, Josh. I know who did it, but it wasn't me. When they're ready to say who it was, then
There were a few people.
Yeah, actually, there were. But
And you know what? I feel like Abrams does know that because I know that. So if I have access to that information, he definitely does too. But
Exactly. I handled it the right way, like a man, instead of the way I could have handled it, and that was it. But no, he still got to go on talking all his BS and all that. So the other night, I called his ass out in front of his 56,000, almost 60,000 subscribers. Called him out man to man. I even told him I'd go to him. And he's asking, what are you going to do to me? I ain't going to do nothing to you. I'm going to see you face to face and let's see what you're going to see in front of me. That's all I wanted to do. Handle it man to man. But you pussied out as always. See, I'm not Liberty Bird. I wasn't going to wait for you to come to me. I would have went to you. Okay, son? You understand, Josh? I am not the one. But if you'd like, I definitely will show up. All right? I'm just putting that out there. I'd come visit you. All right? But you pussied out. Just so all your fanboys know it. that's all I gotta say. Anyway, let's get on with the show.
You're the best, Murph.
Thank you, buddy. Love you guys. Love you, Kate.
Love you too, Marv.
Thanks. All right, let's get on with the show. I said what I had to say, and that's it. And I'm gonna leave it like that.
I think that we've actually reached the end of our. Did I forget anything? I don't think I forgot anything.
Yeah, if I may make a correction, though,
Sure.
under the SCOTUS decision of Terry versus Ohio, an officer has to have reasonable suspicion, not articulable. Articulable only counts when they come before a magistrate or judge, when they have to justify what they've done. They don't have to tell you anything.
Oh, well, yeah, and that's what I meant, but that's a little bit fine detail, I guess, on the difference between just reasonable suspicion and articulable reasonable suspicion. So,
Articulable part doesn't come into play until they're before a magistrate or judge, depending on how the state, how you run it in your state. And the interesting part about it all is that all of this talk, every time I seem to see someone say that, I see a smile come on the policeman's face because they know the rules better than some of these people that pretend to know what their rights are.
Well, you also missed the other obvious part, NJ, when he said you can't trespass my eyes, and that's not what was in the case law.
Yeah, that's in English law, not in the United States.
No, that was U.S. law. My brain isn't working to go back and find the case, but you remember the case where some people were looking for some kind of gambling hall or something, and the officer got on a box or a stool or a fellow officer's shoulders and looked through the window above the door in kind of a East Coast style apartment setting, and looked inside and saw people with equipment that they were counting money or doing whatever, and they said that they trespassed because he looked through the window. Well, the eyes cannot commit the trespass. That was what the quote was.
Yeah, I seem to remember another case where the department was using infrared detection to detect people in a building through a wall, a wood type building.
I thought for surveillance purposes that they could no longer do that because you have to have a warrant to be able to do that.
Exactly.
But as far as peeking through the top of a window, the case law was that the eyes cannot commit the trespass. They saw what they were doing and they kicked the door in and arrested everybody for it. But it had little to nothing to do with the First Amendment. It had nothing to do with cameras. It had nothing to do with anything. But they've been running with this thing for so long about how the eyes cannot be trespassed. It's called a myth and bullshit.
Yeah, well, just like the 10-foot rule.
Exactly.
Yeah. We have to come up with a new phrase, I guess, case law myth.
I just call it frauditor myth.
Yeah. Now, a case law myth, that's probably, I mean, I enjoy debunking these a lot of the time, too, because some of the things that come out of these guys' mouths is just so obtuse. It's unbelievable.
Okay, we should make like a video, like a basic debunking, because I see people do it with sovereign citizens all the time with their basic crap that they try to throw out to confuse, officers or whatever. Same thing. We should go through a list of common objections that auditors have and why they're false.
Common misconceptions of
yeah.
auditing, cop watching, and cop blocking. Yeah, I've already started a list.
So I've done one already because the thin blue line flag being a flag code violation. I was getting so fucking sick of hearing that. It's like, no, it's not a flag code violation because it was never an American flag to begin with, right? So I did that video and I intended to do more, but it's like time is always an issue for me. I'm not going to pretend that it's not. Like I have a lot more content in my head than I have time to actually produce, unfortunately, but we're working on it. We always are.
All right. It was a quick look up. I always forget the name of it. It was McDonald et al. Versus the United States, and it was a case back in December 13th. Well, decided December 13th, 1948. And that's where that quote comes out of. And I don't know who found it or why they found it, but they've been misusing it forever.
Yeah, no, I mean, just in general, a lot of, the misconceptions are never ending. That's quite the deep well of content right there.
I told you, NJ, whenever we get together and start speaking about case law, we bore everybody and viewers just shed off of the Dropbox.
I love case law, man. I had to take it as part.
No, I hate to say it, but it's the meat and potatoes of your rights. And if you don't pay attention to it, sooner or later, it's going to trip you up.
Right.
It just seems to be so black and it's not black and white though. It seems to be grey. Lots of areas are grey. Some are borderline this and borderline that. Is there a way of just making it so simple, for everyone to get?
If they did do that in every major case, with is an unemployed Supreme Court of the United States.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's job security for theirs, and I just recently looked into Canada's, and the big difference is they wear red robes, ours wears black robes.
Do you guys have public nuisance and disturbing the peace and public disorder laws?
We would call it disorderly conduct.
Right.
It's usually a municipal charge, but there's state charges as well too.
Yeah, breach of peace as well. That's usually done at the township ordinance level.
And Matt, does Furry's actions not breach that?
Depends on what the law says and where she is. So
California Penal Code 415, and they don't use it that often. That is part of the issue. And there was recently an auditor, San Joaquin Valley Transparency, who was charged with that, and it was basically not prosecuted or dismissed.
Wow. I don't get it. I just can't cop the innocent people being harassed and abused and whatever. It just blows my mind.
I agree with that. Could I just say something to the retired police officer real quick? How you doing, sir?
Well,
I'm sorry?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Great. I just like to say thank you for all your years of service, and I love the good cops, and for the bad ones that are out there, there's more good cops than bad, in my opinion. And I really appreciate you and all the other good cop service. Now, as they say, I'm not a bootlicker. I just love good cops. I really do. And I just wanted you to know that I appreciate your service.
Well,
and
you're
welcome.
There's some good, very seldom. Well, in 36 years now, the last 17 I was chief of detectives. So I probably dealt more with internal affairs things then. In 36 years, I arrested, I think, 7 cops, but it was stupid stuff. It usually involved their penis getting out of control.
Yeah.
Stalking.
But still, you did it. That says a lot about you, man. That says a lot about you, and I respect that.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
It was a good job. I enjoyed it. I don't miss it. It's a whole different world out there now, but I enjoyed it.
Great. I'm glad to hear that. Is that Matt that's here?
It is.
Hey, Matt, how you doing?
Good. About yourself?
All right. Good to hear from you. I don't know if you noticed I dropped out, but I'm glad I caught you. I just wanted to say hi too, and I appreciate you.
Thank you, Murph. I appreciate that.
You're welcome, buddy. And NJ, I always love hearing about your case law. You know that. You're a good man. Jimmy, everybody up on panel, especially Kate. Kate's number one. And I'm glad I'm a part of this. Always got your back.
You're the man, Murph.
Thank you.
Just for all you kids following at home, California Penal Code 415, any of the following persons shall be punished by imprisonment in the county jail for a period of not more than 90 days, a fine of not more than $400 or both such imprisonment and fine. 1, any person who unlawfully fights in a public place or challenges another person in a public place to fight. I think that's what SJVT got caught up in. 2, any person who maliciously and willfully disturbs another person by a loud and unreasonable noise. Or 3, any person who uses offensive words in a public place which are inherently likely to provoke an immediate violent reaction, basically fighting words.
Yeah.
How many times have we seen Furry Potato invoke somebody into a violent reaction, but yet they don't use this? And I think that has a lot to do with local prosecutors. They don't like fooling around with this little nonsense. That's just usually how it goes, I believe.
Exactly.
Yeah, especially during COVID. Like in the county that I work, we're not arresting people and taking them to jail unless it's a felony or a violent crime. So some violent crimes are misdemeanors, like some family violence act stuff. So unless we have one of those things, and they just get a citation and let go for right now. So.
Yeah.
And California is letting felons out in droves. So they're going to haul people in on these little pesky misdemeanors. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of those, though, are minor felons.
Well, yeah, until they kill somebody after they were released. And that's happened a couple of times out here.
Wow.
Is that Lynn getting by with this stuff? Why he's not being dealt with in the courts and that? Such as with the black officer, plus all the other junk he's been involved in.
Oh, he's terrible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jessica Stewart. Yes, I would be happy to teach you Discord and how to be on a panel. I know that. Just message me on Facebook. That's what I was going to say. I knew we were connected somewhere.
Yep. Oh, real quick, I just wanted to thank Sasha Crane. Sasha Crane always puts in a lot of work for the Masshole Report. And Sasha Crane, shout out to you. I love you. And thank you for all the hard work you do also. And,
she's quite the investigator.
Yep, I know. She's very smart. Finds out the facts and gets the paperwork, especially the paperwork. She always gets paperwork too. I love that.
And updates on. Oh, sorry, Martha.
That's okay.
No updates on SJB for pepper spraying people. I have not heard anything about that, which is too bad. Robin Thompson. Hi, why are you still here? This lady, you guys, this Robin Thompson. She comes in here with her misspelled, horrendously punctuated comments, and she's just very angry all the time. She said, "Mere," that's not even a word. The perv, comma. You only need one, bitch. Get your saggy nuts off Kate's double chin. He can put his saggy nuts on my double chin anytime. Okay, and here she comes with, look at this. Like, Robin, honey. Like, you don't want to advertise your low IQ like this. Like, literally, just fuck you. She didn't spell you right. Yeah, you is Y-O-U. Dear God, Robin, I want to help. Look. She just did fucku. Like, Robin, it's Y-O-U, and you need to put a space in between. Look at Robin did it again. You need to put a space in between words. Woman. This is the kind of person that supports freaking Furry Potato, though. Just like crazy. Low IQ. You have the brain power of a stale raisinette, lady. Exactly. You really do.
Put the hot pocket down and stop hitting paste.
Yeah, look at this. It's just rage typing.
Robin, have you been spelling wrong?
Wow.
Y'all, I'm going to start a GoFundMe for some Hooked on Phonics for Robin Thompson. She needs
That
it.
sounds like a plan.
She needs it. She needs it. I'm serious. I'm serious.
Hooked on phonics. I love it.
We're gonna buy you Hooked on Phonics, Robin, because if you want, you can come into our comments and insult me anytime you want. I do have a double chin; it doesn't bother me. But I would prefer if you did so with proper grammar and spelling,
Well,
at least on a remedial English. You know, like maybe the 5th grade level. What's up?
Yep. Put me in for $10 for Hooked on Phonics.
See, Kate,
Thank
that's
you.
the American education system failed right there.
No, I don't know what this is.
No, she probably dropped
Yeah,
out.
don't think
Fairy, Fairy,
Hey.
that's on you.
Hey, no.
Good
I can
book.
speak just fine and type really good. Like, you saw me type in there, fuck you. She could have just easily copied and pasted it and everything. So, no, it's not the entire American schooling.
That sounds
We're getting
like
ready to wrap up the stream.
Hi, sweetie.
Yeah, we're getting ready to wrap up the stream because it's on 2 hours. But on the way out, if you guys just want to do me a little favor, everybody in the comments, 251 people left here, just go ahead and write fuck you the proper way with the spelling and punctuation so that Robin can see how it's spelled. Can we all band together and help her a little bit there? So I'm going to start. I'm going to put it in for Robin. Here you go, Robin. I just did it. I put an exclamation point on mine because I figured I'd be a little saucy with it. You can also do, here we go. Yeah, Robin, here you go. I'm going to see you did it again, Robin. All right.
Hey,
you can use
at least Robin can spell your name right this time.
Okay, Robin, here you go. Okay, so you're going to do Kate, comma, fuck you, period. There you go, Robin.
There you go.
Let's put that up on the
Busy can't even do it.
A fuck you train. I've never seen that before on a chat.
There you go. All right, there you go. See that up there?
Hooked on Kate.
All right, Robin.
Hooked on masshole.
Hooked on masshole.
Yeah. We're all here to help you, Robin. If you notice, we've got a lot of people that are showing you how to properly spell fuck you. Got some punctuation in there. Like,
we're all willing to
we're just trying to help. We're just trying to help. All right, guys. So, on that note, thanks for hanging out. It's been an eventful week.
Thank you,
Sorry.
everybody.
I liked the fact that some people were rage fucking in the fuck yous.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Kate, thanks for having me up, darling, and g'day to all the audience.
Thanks for coming.
They're awesome.
I always love you.
Jimmy,
Matt, thank you for having me.
take it easy.
As always, Kate, my pleasure.
Kate,
mate.
thank you, sweetheart.
Murphy,
All right.
thanks for coming on.
Much love.
Captain Happy, it's always great to have you. And Jay Diver.
And Jay,
Fairy
that's pretty
Goddess.
clever. I like that.
And you got the best chat people here, Kate. The people in chat are awesome.
Oh my God.
Thank you for having me, Kate.
This. Robin's spelling is somehow devolving into something worse.
They're doing that.
Robin, there's no J in fuck Robin. There's no J in that word.
Wow.
Robin. Anyway, thanks
I
for
think that
everybody
was-
who came and hung out. Oh,
Out later.
sorry.
I think that was anti-Semitic in that statement there.
Yeah, what I typed in the chat there was supposedly the origin of the word.
Vital. The J is silent.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Kate.
Thank you.
Thanks, all.
All right. Good night, guys. Thank
Bye,
you,
Blue.
everybody. Thank you, Robin.
Blue butterflies, love
Yeah,
you.
as always, I'll put it in one more time. As always, after the show, we have an after party in the Discord server. Join our Discord server. Join our cult. Come on in and we'll talk about these things. Robin, just to let you know, we're probably going to make fun of you for a while in the Discord server tonight. Okay? Till next time, guys. Bye. Robin, please
Bye.
learn how to spell, darling. All right. Good night.
Yeah.
Good night,
Good
all.
night.
Thank you.
Night.
Bye.